All right, hello children, it's Pastor Matthew here for our children's praise lesson. We're on question 68. We're still learning about the sixth commandment, which is to not murder. But it's really more complicated than that. It's not just about murdering. It's about all the type of hate that we might hold in our heart. We need to get all that out of there because the sixth commandment, Jesus' commandment to you, is that you should not have any hate or tendency toward hurting people in your heart. So here is question 68. It asks, what is the sixth commandment require? What does the sixth commandment require? The sixth commandment requires making every lawful effort to preserve one's own life and the lives of others. Making every effort to preserve life. Particularly, you can point to yourself and say, my life and your life. Other people in this world are very, very valuable because God has pressed upon them his very image. Remember, we've talked about the image of God, that you and me and everybody is made in the image of God. That makes us very, very valuable. So I'm going to show you a picture. I want you to see this. And this is something you might have experienced many times before, especially if you're playing outside. Do you see the bug that's right under that person's shoe? Now, whenever we're walking, maybe you're walking on the sidewalk or you're trying to get to your car or you're walking around at recess and you just stepped on an ant or some other bug out there. And you actually took a life of another animal. And it's kind of gross and maybe you're a little scared sometimes to do that and it happens even by accident or whatever. And that's an issue, right? Because that is something that God made, and those are really amazing things, those little bugs that crawl on the ground. But that's very different, you see, than you and me, because we were made in the image of God. That is, we were made even higher than those animals. Well, here's another example, and this is something even more close to our heart, right? We like dogs a lot. You see, dogs are even higher in value than, let's say, an ant or a cockroach, right? Because they are more complicated and they have an ability to relate to us even more deeply, and they have emotions, and they're just higher animals. They're just more beautiful, right? But still, they're not like you or me. No other animal in all the world is as valuable as you or me or any other human, because unlike all the other animals, only we as humans have been given the image of God, that God has, Ecclesiastes said, put eternity into our hearts, something very, very valuable, right? So that's something we need to know. The difference is we need to take care of each other, just like this woman's taking care of that man because he's not healthy and he's not well. She is obeying the sixth commandment. She's trying to make his life last, preserve his life, because he's very valuable and you're very valuable. And why? When someone asks you that question, what's going to be your answer? Because you are made in the image of God. So here's our Bible verse from Psalm 8, verse 3. The psalmist looks at everything God's made, and then he sang this song, and I want to read it to you. He says, when I look to the heavens and the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you care for him? So what he said is, I look up to the heavens and I see the moon and I see the stars and all the great things God has made. And then I look at myself and say, well, who am I? And here's the answer. Yet you have made man a little lower than the heavenly beings, and you have crowned him with glory and honor, and have given him dominion over the works of your hands. And you have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen and beasts of the field and birds of the heaven and fish of the sea and whatever passes through the sea. How majestic is your name in all the earth. Do you see what he said? So he said, you, God, have made us, you and me, people, higher than all the other things God has made. That's why we are have dominion, that means we're higher, or the things are other things God has made is under our feet. And he lists all these animals. So that's explaining why we're higher, because God has made us in his image. And you should see what the psalmist says and sing Psalm 8 with him, that you are made in the image of God, and therefore we have to preserve life.